What's going on, everyone? Tommy P back with another naturally obsessed look into basketball. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe button, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought about today's video. And as I always like to preface by saying, I am not a basketball expert, just a fan who's naturally obsessed. And in today's video, we are going to talk about the lackluster evening it was last night in the NBA draft for the Phoenix Suns. We knew coming into it, they did not hold a draft pick, but all sorts of rumors and speculation, even things that I was hearing were telling me that they were doing their absolute best, their due diligence to try to trade into the draft. Definitely wanted at minimum a second round pick, but they were trying really hard to get into that first round. And James Jones said in his post-draft press conference, which every GM does, that he had at about 8 players that the team highly coveted, and he had a few trades that were worked out before the draft even started, which is very common because, you know, in the NBA draft, you get 5 minutes on the clock, and 5 minutes is not a lot of time if you're calling a team trying to work out a trade. A lot of these trades are predetermined if the draft works out a certain way. And unfortunately, the draft with the teams that they had trades pre-worked out with, they didn't come to fruition because the draft didn't work out a certain way. There were a lot of surprises in the draft, especially the top 3. I thought the Thunder were going to take Chet Holmgren, but Paolo Banchero and then Jabari Smith, it just threw everything off. Even Jaden Ivey falling to number 5. The draft was full of surprises, and I love drafts like that. I really do. Some really good talent fell to the later first round, even early second round. But what this tells me is that maybe something is brewing outside of the draft that the Suns did not want to give up too much for, because possibly, and again, I don't know anything yet. I have a hunch on a couple things, but I'm not going to share hunches with you guys unless I hear from people that I trust that know much more than me. If I hear from them, I'm willing to put what little credibility I may have as a fan on the line because of how much I trust these people. So if and when I hear from them, I will be more than happy and excited to share that with you. But I think I have a hunch what's going on, and if you've been watching the channel long enough or you follow news and rumors and social media on your own, you probably have a hunch what's going on. So wink, wink. Hopefully it comes to fruition. Some things are making it look like it's heading in that direction, but at this point in time, it's purely speculation, nothing else. And those of you who know me know I like to deal with as little speculation as possible. So with DeAndre Ayton, you know, I had been talking a lot about how potential handshake, wink, wink, under the table deals could potentially be made. But in this last week, in NBA draft week, I mentioned to you guys in one of my videos that it's looking less and less likely because of certain things that may be unfolding and because of what teams that are said to be the most interested in DeAndre Ayton have done. For example, the Detroit Pistons. I was always hearing, and it was always in stories that I had read on the Detroit Pistons, that one, they are the most interested in DeAndre Ayton, and prior to the draft yesterday, I don't know where they stand now because, you know, getting Jaden Ivey is one thing, but if they seem to have potentially have gotten their big man of the future, so I don't know what that would mean for DeAndre Ayton. But prior to the draft starting, DeAndre Ayton going to the Detroit Pistons was still the betting favorite as far as destinations for him via sign and trade or just via free agency. And when they traded away Jeremy Grant, what was the overwhelming theory and still could potentially be, again, I haven't heard anything, I haven't looked at updated Vegas odds, but it was said that because of all the cap space they cleared, which a lot of that cap space has dwindled away since they acquired Kemba Walker yesterday, but they still have plenty of cap space, and that it could potentially be thought that the Detroit Pistons might just offer DeAndre Ayton the max and call the Phoenix Suns bluff on them matching it. Definitely possible, but everything I've heard and I've reiterated time and time and time again to everyone, and I'll do it now, is that the Phoenix Suns are not going to let DeAndre Ayton walk for nothing. If someone offers him a contract, the Phoenix Suns match it, and a sign-in trade cannot be worked out, DeAndre Ayton is going to be on the Phoenix Suns next year, at least to start the year. Does not mean he's going to finish the year with the Phoenix Suns. I entirely think it's possible that even though DeAndre Ayton could start the season for the Phoenix Suns, he ends the season with someone else. Entirely possible, but I'm telling you right now, there is no possible way that the Phoenix Suns are just going to let DeAndre Ayton walk for nothing or for a trade that doesn't make any sense. It has to be a trade that makes any sense for the Phoenix Suns to let DeAndre Ayton walk. Even if they'd like to let him walk, they're not going to let him walk for nothing and for a trade that doesn't make sense for the Phoenix Suns. So what I'm getting at in this video is I don't think it's a big deal entirely that the Phoenix Suns walked away from the draft without making any picks. The way I look at it is the only type of impact player on this team that the Phoenix Suns could have gotten is probably in the lottery. Maybe a few picks outside of the lottery, because like I said, a lot of really good players slipped to the late first round. So you probably could have gotten a player in that range. But if you're talking about big time production, like I was hearing and stories were all over the place that James Jones views a couple of these guys as instant impact guys, I don't think realistically with what the Phoenix Suns had worked out, it could have happened. So you still have all the assets that you were kind of dangling around, toying with, seeing, what could this get me in the draft? You still have all of that. So realistically, with where this team is salary cap wise, not a lot of wiggle room at all. So free agency as of right now to get better, unless you're signing a guy on a minimum or close to a minimum contract, you're not going to get much of anything. So you still have a lot of trade assets as far as DeAndre Ayton signed and trade. You have Jay Crowder and his expiring contract, not to mention that he's still a very productive player, very good defensively, very streaky from the floor, but when he's on, he's on. You have Dario Saric's expiring contract. You have Torrey Craig and his expiring contract. I'll say it again. I've said it several times. I'm hearing Landry Shamet and Cam Payne. There's more of a market for those guys than was originally thought. It's not a big market, but there is a market. There are some teams that are interested in those guys. So you have capital. You really do. And for the wink player that some of you know who I'm talking about, I'm told that the only way that they would be willing to part with Cam Johnson is for a deal for a player of that caliber. So that's an asset, a very valuable asset. I love Cam. I don't want to see Cam go, but if it's for said player, I'm very okay with it. And I've said it in my previous videos talking about said player. I'll say it again right now. They are going to do everything they possibly can to make sure Mikal Bridges is not a part of a deal for that player. Everything. Doesn't mean he's not, because it's going to be pricey, but there's absolutely no desire from the Phoenix Suns part to part with Mikal Bridges. And why would there be? Why would there be? So, and not to mention, since they didn't make any trades, they still hold all future first-round picks. They have assets to work with. So, I don't know what your thoughts are. Please share them with me. But as far as them not doing anything last night, I'm okay with it. I really am. Drafts are usually exciting. It would have been fun to be part of the excitement, but now that the excitement's come and gone, I don't think any less of them. I'm going to hold my judgment until the vast majority of free agency has come and gone, see how the DeAndre Ayton situation plays out, see what we part with, what we bring on, then I will cast judgment. But right now, in my opinion, too early to tell. Too early to tell, and if you're going to judge the Phoenix Suns on not acquiring a draft pick last night, either A, you're being way, way over dramatic and over emotional, or two, you're just looking for things to nitpick and be critical about. Because I really don't see what the big deal is as of right now. Maybe in a month, I'll think differently, but my instant reaction, not a big deal. But let me know what you guys think. I really value your opinion, so please share it with me. I appreciate you guys watching. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought about today's video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks, guys.